just did our first project. We just remade Michael Jackson.
There'll be no darkness tonight. You reignite on my mind, and every waking moment I try.
At that time, it was myself, Rodney, Reggie, Steve, and a guy named Shane.
We just released our new single, our 30-year reunion single called
Me in Paradise.
Take you from that pillow, 'cause I need you to hold me like that.
I can't wait to get to school each day. Hey, that's the girl for you. And my heart will be the pathway.
It kind of, for me, it makes me feel like I don't even want to leave the city.
This journey set me free. Set me free. I will always love you. Baby, sweet November will tell us the story.
We gon' do this right, we gon' make it last forever. And I just don't want
someone to stand beside you. I hold you, baby.
Moments before the spotlights exploded and thousands of fans screamed the opening note of Spread My Wings. Every member of Troupe stood backstage in goosebump silence. The performance would seal their second straight #1, but 20 minutes earlier the group discovered half their publishing already belonged to someone else. Shock, panic, no time to fight, just step on stage and smile. Troupe's latest news isn't a reunion tour headline, it's the gut punch behind that silent walk. What would you do if your biggest payday evaporated while the crowd still chanted your name? Picture it, Steve gripping the mic so hard his knuckles whiten, Alan staring into the rafters, Rodney whispering a prayer he never repeats. The crowd roars, stage managers count down, and in that heartbeat Troupe realizes their dream might be a lease, not an ownership. Troupe's scandal update reads like a thriller, contracts hidden in plain sight, friends turning into gatekeepers, money splitting 5 ways until somebody else pockets the biggest share. The song starts, harmonies soar. Cameras flash. Fans think they're witnessing pure victory. The group feels the floor tilt. Does success still taste sweet when paperwork steals the sugar? Hit the comments. This opening question is only the first twist, and the real bombshell lands next. After the applause dies, Steve checks his pager. Another royalty statement that feels like a joke. Reggie swears he'll get answers. Jon and Vernon vow not to sleep until they see the master contract. Meanwhile, the managers grin for photo ops, already planning the next siphon. So strap in, because the handshake that sealed Troupe's fate happened long before that stage, and tonight we crack it wide open. Ready to discover who signed away the wings before they could finish spreading? Long before chart plaques and wardrobe changes, Troupe was just 5 kids in Pasadena chasing quarters for arcade games. Rodney Benford caught the fever first after seeing New Edition turn a theme park crowd electric. He dragged Reggie Warren and Vernon Stewart into his living room, pushed back the couch, and turned the coffee table into a dance platform. They called themselves Total Respect of Other People so teachers wouldn't complain, lip-syncing Cool It Now, hard enough to make the neighbors knock. Pasadena Cable offered a TV show, Putting on the Hits, where contestants mimed famous songs for cash. Rodney marched the crew down, outfits borrowed, choreography fierce. They won first prize, $1,000 and a taste of stage lights they'd never shake. A producer backstage asked one dangerous question. Can you sing for real? Reggie's mom didn't blink. Of course, she lied, then pushed the boys into choir practice until the lie became truth. To boost vocals, Rodney recruited Steve Russell, a classmate whose falsetto floated higher than allowance money, and Jon Harreld, a church-trained tenor. Alan McNeil rounded out the lineup with songwriting chops no one knew they needed yet. Rodney's mom became drill sergeant, banging a broom handle on the garage floor to keep time while the boys sweated harmonies after school. Local talent shows fell like dominoes. Troupe started winning groceries, stereo systems, and respect. Managers Steve Cohen and David Cook noticed, boasting ties to Atlantic Records. They set up an audition with legendary A&R Queen Sylvia Rhone. She watched the boys glide through Mamacita, clapped once, and said, "We're signing you." Troupe cheered, not noticing the letterhead on the paperwork said Platinum Gold Productions instead of Atlantic. Rodney's mom baked a sheet cake. The boys cut it like Grammy winners. They didn't know Cohen and Cook had inked a separate master agreement naming Platinum Gold the real artist and Troupe the subcontractor. A single clause that meant every dime and creative decision flowed through the managers first. Ignorant of the trap, Troupe hit the studio hungry. Their debut single Mamacita cracked #2 on the R&B chart, and the album pushed them onto Soul Train and into MTV rotation. Back home, classmates begged for autographs. In hotels, the group practiced choreography until security knocked complaining about pounding feet. The sophomore project, Attitude smashed expectations. Spread My Wings and All I Do Is Think of You rocketed to back-to-back number ones. Fans screamed. Gold plaques arrived weekly. Nobody noticed the managers quietly registering half the publishing under platinum gold. The fuse to the explosion was lit. Touring with MC Hammer in 1990, Troupe thought they'd reached cruise altitude. Arenas glowed, dancers leaped, confetti blasted. Then Hammer's brother, Louis Burrell, pulled Steve aside after soundcheck and offered two gifts: a side gig writing for Busted Records and a blunt tutorial on music business math. Louis opened a contract, pointed to the publishing clause, and asked, "Do you have this?" Steve's stomach dropped. Troupe didn't even possess their own deal. Back at the hotel, Steve and Alan spread paperwork across ironing boards and read. They discovered Troupe wasn't signed to Atlantic at all. Their signatures sat on a production deal making Platinum Gold the middleman, owner of the masters, dictator of budgets, collector of 50% of every song. Imagine writing a love ballad at 3 a.m. in a motel bathtub, only to learn your manager owns half before the chorus is finished. They confronted Cohen and Cook in a Cleveland dressing room. The managers shrugged. "Read your contract." That sentence forged an alliance stronger than any harmony. The group voted to halt touring until a renegotiation happened. Promoters threatened lawsuits. Troupe dug in. Platinum Gold sued for breach, and courtroom transcripts revealed a sliding royalty scale, where every European vinyl paid the band a single-cent mail from fans had been routed to the managers, opened or trashed at will. Publicly, the lawsuit looked like greed. Privately, it was survival. After 9 tension-packed months, a settlement let Troupe sign directly with Atlantic. Freedom? Not quite. They hired Louis Burrell as their new manager. Sylvia Rhone warned them that swapping puppet masters rarely ends well, but the group craved fresh energy. The move briefly paid off. They landed "I'm Not Souped" on the new Jack City soundtrack and popped up in the movie. Eyes on them as Ice-T fired blanks at Wesley Snipes. Yet behind cameras, the family vibe splintered. Steve and Alan's writing synergy turned into turf wars. Recording Babyface's Sweet November went nuclear when Alan vetoed Steve's lead vocal mix. In a late-night session, Steve muted Alan's harmonies. Alan blasted him through the talkback, glass rattled. The final cut hit number 1, but the friendship flatlined. The third album, Deepa, carried that weight. Numbers slid. Some blamed grunge, others blamed ego. Atlantic wanted another Spread My Wings. The chemistry had left the building. Then Busted Records offered boutique attention and profit splits. Steve, Alan, and producer Meech signed instantly. Reggie, Rodney, and Jon hesitated, but eventually signed to keep peace. Unity was cosmetic. When the album dropped, only 3 faces, Steve, Alan, Meech, graced the cover. The others learned they'd been erased at the photo reveal. Fans on chat boards lost it. Sales stalled. Worse, the booklet included a printed jab at Sylvia Rhone, accusing her of gatekeeping dreams. Radio programmers loyal to Sylvia iced the record. Busted turned its budget to Hammer. Troupe searched hotels for fax machines to beg for video funding. Meanwhile, Troupe's scandal update headlines multiplied. Some magazines claimed lawsuits flew between members. Court dockets disagreed, but phone calls degenerated into voicemail rants. Rehearsal schedules looked like Sudoku. Travel agents demanded payment up front. Childhood handshakes became notarized agreements. By 1995, Steve focused on writing for outside artists, Alan explored gospel, Jon did session gigs, Reggie managed local talent, and Rodney taught choreography at a community center. Meetings for a fresh album ended with someone walking out 5 minutes after Hello. The industry moved on, yet Troupe's music refused to die. Quiet Storm stations kept All I Do Is Think of You spinning. Mixtape producers sampled falsettos. Journalists dug up platinum gold contracts. Printing photocopies highlighted like crime scenes. Troupe's latest news morphed into law school cautionary tales on what not to sign. In 1998, the original 5 attempted a comeback album, Mayday. No major label support, no Billboard ads, little airplay. Independent funds dried, and the project flatlined in weeks. In 2013, all 5 entered the studio again under Steve's indie label, teasing a reunion. Then Alan ghosted rehearsals, angry the single wouldn't drop under a shared imprint. The tiebreak vote removed him. Steve cast the deciding ballot and looked devastated. Tragedy struck in 2021 when Reggie Warren died at 52. BET aired a montage. Steve, Rodney, and Jon performed an a cappella Spread My Wings at his memorial that blurred tribute and apology. Troupe's scandal update threads reignited, and fans begged for a documentary. One unexpected twist arrived in 2024 when a TikTok dance challenge sampled All I Do Is Think of You, racking up 80 million views in a month. Streams soared 400%. Royalty dashboards barely moved. Steve tweeted the fractions of a cent per play. Rodney replied with a crying laugh emoji. Fans launched a petition demanding Warner audit every royalty since 1988. The label's response, all contracts remain in good standing, felt like deja vu. Every spike in interest proves one thing. Until ownership changes, the songs earn big money for everyone except the men who created them. Industry insiders call Troop a masterclass in talent and tragedy. Lawyer Dina Marto labels them the cleanest example of artist joy turned line-item misery. Tour manager Tony Bird recalls an arena date canceled mid-soundcheck when paperwork trumped performance. Fans never dropped the melodies. DJ Big Tigger spins All I Do Each Valentine's Day, announcing, "You can steal royalties, but you can't steal memories." Facebook groups share bootleg VHS clips, threading nostalgia with outrage. Rising artists study Troop's scandal update as a how-to-avoid guide. Producer 40 once tweeted, "Own your masters unless you want a Troop sequel." Yet resentment lingers. In a 2022 radio chat, Steve admitted forgiveness hasn't erased unanswered calls from the contract wars. Rodney says singing the classics is like hugging the bully who stole your bike. Comment sections mirror that mix. Some fans hunt for lost albums, others yell, "Sue them again." Meanwhile, accountants calculate at least $8 million in misfiled mechanical royalties still floating out there. Each new rumor fuels fresh interest, and every young singer Googles one phrase first. How did Troop lose their publishing? Scandal, it turns out, can be a curse and lifeline at once. First, the silky ad-lib John adds to every live Mamacita came from a soundcheck dare. Hit a whistle note while dancing the running man. He nailed it. Promoters now tweak EQ to spotlight that squeal. Second, the iconic leather trench coats were sewn by Rodney's aunt in a Pasadena living room with leftover upholstery fabric. Asymmetrical zippers happened because she ran short on matching sliders and accidentally birthed a trend. Third, the new Jack City cameo almost collapsed when Steve fell asleep in a prop cruiser. Wesley Snipes woke him by tapping the window with a fake gun, and the director kept the take. Fourth, Rodney diagrams choreography on hotel carpets with masking tape. Once housekeeping peeled it off mid-routine, the group finished using phantom lines, proving muscle memory rules. Fifth, Platinum Gold tried to trademark "Spread My Wings" for airline ads until United Airlines blocked it for potential passenger confusion. Sixth, Steve Russell later wrote "Take You Down" and "No Air," earning more in a single quarter than Troop's first 2 albums grossed in a decade. Seventh, a hidden a cappella reprise of "All I Do Is Think of You" sits 30 seconds after the last Deepa track. Streams of that Easter egg reportedly fund John's sneaker habit. Eighth, every sharp spin came from self-choreography. Rodney's graph paper grids now inspire K-pop trainers. Ninth, on Showtime at the Apollo, the stage creaked so loudly producers reamped crowd noise. Watch closely and you'll see Steve signaling softer landings. 10th, myths claim Troop stands for streetwear or domination slogans, but the acronym has always meant total respect of other people. 11th, Troop's scandal update is quoted in law school mock trials on entertainment rights. 12th, Troop's latest news teases a vinyl box set with unreleased demos and a blockchain ledger so fans can watch money hit members' wallets in real time. Troop's story proves raw talent can rocket you to the clouds, but signed papers decide whether you own the sky. Contracts slice their riches, ego crack their brotherhood, yet the songs still make crowds scream like it's 1989. Troop's latest news isn't a glossy comeback. It's the ownership lesson every new singer must memorize. Troop's scandal update keeps echoing because it shows how fast dreams flip when middlemen hijack the wheel. So what would you do if the handshake you trusted locked away your future? Fire the managers? Lawyer up? Keep singing through the pain? Drop your battle plan in the comments. And tell us which Troop track still hits hardest. Smash that like button so other R&B fans learn the hidden cost of their favorite hooks. Hit subscribe, because the next deep dive might save an artist you love from the same trap. Then share this video with anyone chasing a record deal. Consider it armor for their paperwork. Troop's journey isn't over, and the next chapter belongs to listeners who keep the conversation alive.